So we've just had what I think is Ashes of Creation's most impressive live stream. I've done a complete video on that and its server meshing. Looks really cool. But today, this one, I want to talk about Alpha 2 and can you buy into it and when it's happening and all that kind of good stuff. So let's jump in and let's talk about it. So basically, yeah, in this live stream, they mentioned that because of the server tech, which I don't know if it's a cop-out or if it was always planned or maybe it's actually true, but they mentioned that Alpha 2 sales are going to go back on sale. And it sort of sounded like it will be at the launch of Alpha 2, by the way. It's not like this is going to come months and weeks afterwards. It's going to be pretty much immediately. Now, that could obviously just be like a misspeak or something like that, but that's what it sounded like when Margaret said it. I don't think it's going to be before. Maybe it will be before. Maybe it'll be a little bit before. I don't really know. The upgrade packages, by the way, will also be available. So if you are like a beta 1 enjoyer, but you want to be an Alpha 2 enjoyer, well, this is going to be your time to shine and get in. Now, on a personal level, I'm very happy about this news because one of my big concerns as a content creator was that making content on a game that people can't buy is going to be very limiting. Only the people who are playing it are going to stick around, basically. There'll be some people who keep like coming in to check on it and then leave, but the people who'll stick around and watch on Twitch or YouTube or whatever will really be the people who are playing it and enjoying it at that time, or at least I think that's the case definitely on Twitch, maybe not so much on YouTube. So for me, opening the sales makes perfect sense. And another bit of important information was that it sounded like Alpha 2 is now going to be available for a cheaper price than the $250 that people like myself paid. Now, they did talk about Furnace for people like myself who's already paid in, but it definitely sounded like they're going to do a cheaper version. And what I expect they are going to do is that they'll probably offer Alpha 2, but without all of the extras. So, you know, no subscription fees, no cosmetics, that kind of stuff. They also said, by the way, that there wouldn't be a rolling cosmetic, so they're done with that now. But yeah, it definitely sounds like it's going to be cheaper, which some people who've already bought in will be a little bit annoyed because they'll be like, oh, but I paid $250 to get in. I only wanted Alpha 2. I didn't want all the extra gubbins. Well, they're going to try and be as fair as possible. If I was a betting man, I think maybe like $120, but that's just a complete guess on my part. I actually have no idea whatsoever. We'll find out soon because Alpha 2's release date is going to be announced this month. So yeah, in the July stream, which is technically the one at the end of July, the one that we just had was technically June, but you know, it was delayed because Stephen was ill. But they said the date is going to be announced then. And then you might be wondering, well, what's that date going to be? Well, what they also said is that for Alpha 2, they are now going to start inviting some Alpha 1 participants. And the way that they're going to do that is they're going to take the 500 most active Alpha 1 participants, they're going to get in this NDA testing, and they're going to do 500 random players. So the 500 people who got in will be the people who played the most, and then the other 500 will just be random. Don't quite know why they're doing the random people as well. You know, maybe just because they're like, well, I didn't play that because I had no time and I actually wanted to play Alpha 2. Maybe they're just doing it for that reason. Now, they said that they would do that up until August. I don't know if that sort of slipped out from Stephen's mouth, but that's what they said and that's what they hinted at, that that's going to be an invite process all the way up until August. Therefore, it is my assumption at this point that if they're only giving us the date at the end of July, that they're probably going to give us at least 2 weeks, and I think they're probably going to miss World of Warcraft. And then I think that they're actually still inviting people to NDA testing in August. I personally think it's going to be September. September just makes the most sense. It gives them the most time to develop. Everything seems to be heading towards September. And on a personal note, I'm not actually happy with that. Unless they're going to do it like at the very start of September or the very end of September, I think that's not a great decision. And the reason being is Throne Liberty. So I asked the question previously if they were going to swerve World of Warcraft, and I was like, yeah, they probably will. But they appear to be running headlong into Throne Liberty. Now, a lot of you will not care about Throne Liberty. A lot of the thousands and thousands of people who've bought into Ashes of Creation Alpha 2 probably also don't care about Throne Liberty. But for the people who do, doing them sort of at similar times is a bit of a pain in the backside, to be honest with you. It's not about the game being ready. It's not about trying to get marketing, although I think sometimes that is a consideration, which now that they're actually going to be selling Alpha 2 again, maybe it's more of a consideration, let's be honest. It's about, mainly for me, just not having that conflict, right? I don't want that conflict. I personally would have preferred if they would delay it, and that's on a personal level, but I also think on a business level, it would also make sense. But I think at this point, you can be pretty much assured September is looking very likely. At worst, they would delay it. At best, I think it's September. So we're going to get a release date this month. Whether or not it's September, whether or not it's pushed further, pretty sure it's not going to be August at this point, but we are going to get a date this month. And that, you know, is exciting. A lot of people are excited about it. And you can buy into it again. Now, buying into it again, I think is a great decision. And I actually think buying in at a lower price is also a good decision. There is going to be that concern of all the people who've already bought in who might feel a little bit shortchanged. I can't imagine them somehow offering you refunds. I don't think that's going to happen. Like, that doesn't logically make sense. It would be a pain in the backside. But I know some people who literally just bought in to play Alpha 2, and I know those people because I think I am probably one of them. Yes, whilst I might save money on the subscription fees and stuff like that, the reason I bought my Alpha 2 key was to play Alpha 2. I don't know if the game's ever going to launch, you know what I mean? The rest of it is sort of like all unknowns to me, so I personally would rather pay the extra when the game launches to guarantee that I'm actually getting a launched game than pay more to get into Alpha 1. Now, maybe that's a little bit cynical. I said Alpha 1, then I meant Alpha 2. But maybe that's a little bit cynical on my part, that I just wanted the cheapest version for me to get in at the right time. But I think probably a lot of people are in the same camp, and we'll see how equitable the new things are. Maybe they'll give people like an extra little reward that they didn't, you know, plan on getting. We'll have to wait and see. The logic that they've now got this new server tech sort of, I mean, I'm not really convinced about it, to be honest with you, considering that they said that they had it since like in Alpha 1 at some point. They had some version of it in Alpha 1. I think they probably always planned on selling it, and this is just a very good reason. Maybe I'm being a little bit cynical there, but, you know, I believe that they're doing it either way, right? It doesn't matter what I believe, but I think they were always planning on selling it because business-wise, that just makes the most sense. And importantly, I think it now takes it from just an actual test to possibly a bit of marketing because they can make money. And when money's involved, you know, you want to maximize it, surely. I know they're going to be like, it's just a test, it's a work in progress and stuff like that. But if they're going to milk, then milk. You know what I mean? I think they'll start milking. And they're going to milk at a slightly lower rate, which will be more tempting for more people. On a personal level, though, I'm thrilled by that. If I'm streaming on Twitch and somebody comes into the Twitch chat and they go, hey, Jay, oh, this game is looking crazy. Ashes of Creation looks fantastic. How do I get involved? Well, in my live streams for the past, I've been saying, well, about that, you can't. But now I get to say, hey, they're opening up the sales again, and it's this much, and you can buy in. I know it's a lot, but it is a test of a game. The price is sort of deliberately there, so you don't just buy in willy-nilly. They don't want you to think that this is a proper, normal, standard game. They want you to know that you're sort of funding the game. So I think it's a good decision. Let's see if everybody else agrees with me, I guess. Let me know in the comments below. For now, big shout out to my YouTube members. If you want to support me, that is the best way. Or you can come over on Twitch and talk to me about anything, really. I think I'm going to be playing Throne of Liberty in the short term, just because what else am I playing? I'm sort of done with New World at the minute, but always happy to talk about Ashes of Creation. For now, have the most beautiful day. Like and subscribe.